What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And on this broadcast, we are going to be bantering about the state of the 2023 Milwaukee Brewers. Now, before I get into breaking down this franchise, I want to let you know there's a corresponding article on laracuenteledger.com that really goes into depth about each and every one of these sections that we're going to discuss this franchise in today's video. So make sure you head over to laracuenteledger.com. Links to that article are in the show notes below. Now we begin looking at the major acquisitions. Now, when it comes to the major acquisitions for the Brewers, there's two players that really stick out in my mind, and that's William Contreras and Jesse Winker. I think that both of these players are going to have an outstanding season for the Milwaukee Brewers. I think that both are going to bring a lot to this team in different ways. I think that for Jesse Winker, he's going to have a bounce back season, potentially even being the National League Comeback Player of the Year. I think getting back to familiar surroundings are really going to help Jesse Winker in a very big way in 2023. For William Contreras, I think that this is going to be a guy who really wants to go in and prove himself. He had a very good 2022 season, and I think that he's going to take on a much more predominant role in the starting lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers. So I think that it's going to be a very good season for both of these players. Now, when it comes to the significant injuries, the pitcher, Aaron Ashby, is going to be the player that I'm most focused on. I think that for Milwaukee, they have the makings of what can be one of the best rotation in all of baseball. I believe that with Ashby potentially coming back in the middle of May, as is projected right now, this could be an infusion of a ton of talent, of skill, and just an infusion for the entire Brewers team. I think that when you look at the upside that this player has, there's a ton to really like if you're the Brewers and the Brewers fan base. I think that there's a lot for this Brewers team to be able to try and accomplish in 2023. It's not going to be an easy task. There are some teams in this division that they are going to be battling. But I do believe that they have the opportunity and the ability with young stars like Aaron Ashby to really help them once they get healthy. Now, when it comes to the top prospect for the Milwaukee Brewers, outfielder Jackson Chourio is going to be the guy that I really am paying attention to. Jackson is a power speed combination that is a serious threat at the plate. When you look at what his scouting grades are, he has a 55 hit tool out of a 20 to 80 scale, 60 in the power department, 70 in the run department, and he also grades out as a plus fielder in terms of his fielding ability. Now, the one knock is going to be his arm, and he's likely going to find himself in probably left field as opposed to center or right. But when you look at what this player can be, absolutely has the potential and the ability to really give the Brewers a lights out defender with some serious pop in that lineup. Now, it's not projected or expected that this player will find his way to the major leagues until probably the 2024 season, and I would say probably later in the 2024 campaign. But with this potential that this player has, his profile is extremely high, and there's a good reason why the Brewers are so high on him. Now, when it comes to the bold prediction for this Milwaukee Brewers lineup, I think that we have to look at the fact that Corbin Burnes is going to finish in the top 5 in the National League Cy Young voting. Yes, this has been one of the best pitchers over the last several years, and I think that this is going to be another year in that progression. I think that for Burnes, this is going to be a player and a pitcher that we really have to pay attention to in 2023. This could be a guy who really takes his progression to the next level and cements himself as one of the top 5 and maybe even top 3 pitchers in all of the National League and in all of Major League Baseball. I think there's a lot to like about his approach on the mound, what he is capable of doing, and the way he is able to dominate. That, to me, is really going to help him solidify his top 5 finish in the National League Cy Young. Now, when it comes to the divisional rankings prediction We have an article on LaracuenteLedger.com and a video here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast where we go over the fact that we believe the Brewers will end up in third place. Yes, this is going to be a season-long battle, and I don't necessarily think that there's going to be a ton of room and a ton of games between the third place Brewers and the teams that are in second and first place in the National League Central Division. There is an opportunity that the Brewers, on the strength of their rotation, could absolutely push past these numbers and not finish in third place, finish much higher. But when you look at some of the things that have happened for this season for this team, injuries are going to be a big factor. And I think that if they can stay healthy, they can supersede this third place finish. If we see some of the injuries take hold the way that they have over the past couple of seasons, that will finish in third place. Now, as we grade out the pitching staff, as I said, this is arguably going to be one of the best pitching staffs and best starting rotations in all of Major League Baseball in 2023. It's a B+ grading overall. I think that there are questions and concerns about the health and stability of some of their starters, as well as some of the guys in the bullpen. I think that the bridge to get from the starters to Devin Williams at the back end of the bullpen can be a little bit questionable. And I think that there's an opportunity for some growth there and some development in the arms that they have in that bullpen. If we see that in 2023, this is definitely going to be one of the top 5 best pitching staffs in all of Major League Baseball. Now, as we grade out the offense here, I give it a B- grade. Now, the reason why it's getting this grade is that I do believe that there is some bounce back capabilities with some of the players in that lineup. A guy like Christian Yelich does not necessarily fall off from the lofty heights that he once had as the MVP in the National League. This is going to be a guy who has the opportunity to get back to being some semblance of that player. I don't think that it's completely fallen off. I believe that for the Brewers, there's going to be a mixing and matching of contact and power. I think that there's a good skill set that they have on this team. And I think that for them, it's a matter of not getting too ahead of themselves. Being able to stay healthy is going to be a big key for this team. But if that's the case, the Brewers have the ability to really put themselves in an upright position and help push towards the postseason. Now, when it comes to grading the offseason, it is a C grade. This is an average offseason to me for the Milwaukee Brewers. There are some questionable moves that they made by trading away some key assets. A guy like Colton Wong could have really helped them. In that, they did replace him with the aforementioned Jesse Winker. They would also bring in the aforementioned William Contreras, amongst a couple of other moves. I think that for this Brewers team, the size of their market, the payroll is going to be the biggest hindrance to their potential perennial success. I think that there is an opportunity that the Brewers have to be able to go out and maybe add a little bit more, whether via trade, which is the most likely option in my opinion. But I think that for Milwaukee, this offseason was kind of average. They didn't necessarily answer all of the questions that they have going into the 2023 season. But I do believe that they are in a better position than what they were in just a season ago. But overall, an average offseason for them. Now, when we grade out the franchise as a whole, it is a C+ grade, just slightly above average in my opinion. While I love their pitching staff and believe that there can be some bounce back from this lineup, I don't know that they necessarily have all of the firepower needed to compete at the top of this National League Central Division. I also don't know that even on the strength of their rotation, if they're going to be able to have enough over the course of a 162-game marathon to really solidify themselves in the wild card hunt. I think that there's going to be a ton of teams that are battling it out, duking it out for those 3 wild card spots in the National League. I think that there's a heavy presence for the National League East in that wild card race. So I think that for Milwaukee, their best opportunity is to try to surpass the teams in the National League Central and claim the division as their best route to the postseason. And even with that, I think that there's going to be questions about what the front office is going to be capable of doing and how much the ownership is really willing to spend on this team in 2023. So there's going to be serious questions. Overall, slightly above average with a C+ grade. But I want to hear from you. Brewers fans, how are you feeling about your team's chances in 2023? What are the standout points, the bright spots, the high spots that you're looking for from this roster? What are kind of your worry points, the potential low spots, and places where this team can improve? Let me know that down in the comments, or find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball, where we can keep the conversation rolling. If you want to find more from us here at the Baseball Banter Broadcast, you can find us on our social media channels, Instagram and TikTok, by the very name of this channel. If you want to show more support, head over to our website, laracuenteledger.com. Again, a corresponding article on this video is on the site, as well as many other articles about different things in the world of Major League Baseball, as well as some other topics. If you want to show even more support for this channel, we do appreciate it. You can head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com. It is our merchandise shop. We have a banner atop the website that shows several different promo codes that you can use to save on some banter merch. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You know the deal. This is a YouTube video, so if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell to stay notified each and every time we drop a new broadcast here, as we are trying to continue growing this baseball community, and most of our audience is not yet subscribed. So if you haven't hit the subscribe and the bell for post notifications, it does a huge service for us here as we continue to try to grow this channel. If you're listening on your favorite podcast listening platform, I appreciate it very much. And if you could leave a 5-star rating and review, it helps us grow. As I said, we are trying to build this baseball community, and by doing that, you are helping us continue to do so. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Keep it locked in on the next broadcast as we banter about the world of baseball. Peace.